All right, everybody. Sorry that it took so long to do this video, but today we're going to talk about the logic and how I came up with magnetics, and then we're going to talk about how to set it up, both with the indicator and with the EA. So let's go. So as you can see on my chart here, we have the magnets. And usually when there is a news announcement or something, I notice that we'll go back here a little bit. I notice that the market will form these magnets, and when they come back around, they'll fill. So pretty much, it's people would say it's a breakout. But I notice that when a breakout happens, and with the algorithm that I have, it shows me a little more than a breakout would show. And so what we did here was I noticed after watching that these would come back. And they always come back. I mean, the only time they're not going to come back, it's going to stay open forever. But you don't want to chase the daily and the weekly or any of that stuff. You want to be able to come after the smaller ones, the 15 minute, the 30 minute, until you get a bigger account. Then, as you get a bigger account, like I have on a lot of the ones that I'm testing it on, you can pretty much do whatever you want. Yeah, you can wait, and the pips, the bigger the time frame, the more profit you're gonna make, the better off you're gonna be. But you got to have a big enough account to be able to face that. And as you can see, I can just scroll back, and this is the USD Swiss on the 30 minute, and we're back in 2020 here. And as you can see, they're everywhere, and the market continually shows you that it opens and closes these magnets. And so after a while of checking and seeing these and looking at them and watching them and seeing where the market's going to move, I decided to create a bot. And the logic behind the bot is this right here. Let's go back to the beginning. But one thing I want to point out is it could be anything. It could be a news announcement. It could be a pandemic. It could be somebody coming in and saying something. As you can see, Elon Musk is able to do stuff, and the thing is this isn't limited to forex. This will trade anything with a candlestick chart on the MT4. This will have magnets, and as you could see, I mean, we're all the way back, and you got some magnets that are years old, and there's tons of them. I mean, there's tons of them. And if you know right now, the USD Swiss since March, as you can see here, of since March has done nothing but gone down. And it's because of the weakness of the dollar. The dollar's not looking too good right now, and it's really causing the forex market to take a hit. And a lot of it is because people are moving to cryptos. They're not wanting to do this anymore. They're wanting to go into markets that are less manipulated. As you know, the forex markets are very manipulated, and so people are moving away from that, and it's causing the U.S. dollar to be weak. Plus, you have the murders, and you have the presidential and a bunch of stuff I don't want to get into. Stuff that really is not making America look great. So nobody's flocking over to us because we're a safe haven, and they're not wanting to come over to us because there's so much turmoil over here. So it's really causing the markets to really take a hit. So I don't want to go back or up to the front because we've been in a downtrend a long time on the USD Swiss, and that's where I'm not gonna sell the USD Swiss no more. I will get into it right now so that way my bot stacks trades, and then when it comes back around, because it's gonna come back around and it's gonna come back eventually, because as you can see here, it's always coming back. It's just a matter of time. And as with this, you know, this is a 30-minute chart, so it's going to be a little longer, but you're still looking at August 1st to August 30th. So you were in this trade about a month. Now, if you do it right and you do one standard lot, and it's the only lot you take, and you come back, let's see, get my measurement tool here. I'm in the process of getting it made for TradingView. I actually bought the course to be able to write PineScript. And so either me or the programmer, which he deserves a lot of the credit, because without the programmer, this wouldn't be possible. And with his expertise, he was able to take what my dream was and to turn it into something that is very profitable. And if you look at my statistics right now, we are about 85% accurate, which I'm more than happy with. But I want it to be more, and there's a few bugs I'm working out of it. Nothing serious, but there's a few bugs I'm working out of it, and so it's really it's taken a few hits, and it's an error on my part. It's an error on the settings that I did, but that's why I test them. That's why I learn from them. That's how I get better at it, and that's how I can help you guys to be better at it. So, you know, I've never taken no loss. I've taken one loss, and it was because of equity management. It was a poor choice on my part, and also the person that we were using, and it really, it was just it was during Brexit, and we chose the wrong pair. We chose it at the wrong time, and it got us. And what really sucks is that it turned around within, like, I don't know, 24 hours of it happening. So we would have been in profit if our account size would have been perfect. But you got to think of this as chess. It's all strategic. And the number one thing about any trading is your equity management. You got to start slow. I know everybody wants to hit the $1 million pocket. I know everybody wants to make $1 million, but it's just not going to happen. Most people it's going to take a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. There's a few that get lucky, and there's a few that happen to get, they happen to get some advice that leads to big gains. But their longevity in this business isn't very long, and most of the time they lose it back, so they'll make it, they'll go around to boast about it, but then they will lose it, and then they ain't got nothing to boast about. So when I saw these, and I saw that they were coming, and I seen that, a news announcement, COVID, anything serious will cause it to do, it'll cause it to drop, or it'll cause it to rise really fast. And when it does this, with the algorithm I have, it's got to be a certain amount of pips, and it's got to be a certain amount of candles back. And there's really a lot that goes into it that I'm not going to say, because otherwise I'm giving you my bot. But what really happens is, it forms this, and then the market, I believe that it's made to where the market comes back to this. I believe that there's a way that when these happen, that the bankers notice it, and they make it as a goal to come back. They have to even it out, because you got to remember, we got world economies doing this. These are world economies, so they can't go. They're confined to restraints. They can only go so far down, and they can only go so far up, and that's why we have ranging. And so they see this, and they're like, oh man, well, eventually we're gonna have to come back up there. And I mean, I don't care what anybody says. I really think that these imperfections, I guess you could call them, these magnets, are one of the reasons why the markets move the way they move. You have your breakout, or you have your news, and then it moves your fundamentals, and it moves, and then when it moves, it really causes them to be like, oh, we're gonna have to go back and touch that. And if you do it on a 5-minute, which we'll go to a 5-minute, I think it's going to be better to teach people. But on a pair like the USD Swiss, your pips ain't going to be a lot, but you're still going to be able to. And as you could see, it could be, this would have been huge. This would have been a huge one on the USD Swiss. I mean, look at the size of that candle. You're looking at a 42 pip magnet. And the thing about that is, the bigger the magnet, the more it starts to suck the market back to it when it happens. And that's why I came up with the word magnetics, because it, once it goes, it starts to pull it back, and it won't always pull it back right away. I mean, sometimes it'll go up, it'll go down, it will come close to it, and then it won't touch it. And I mean, you can see it here. You know, like it will try to come back up, and it will come down. And the good thing I like about this, because I take profit quite a bit, is the fact that it comes down here, and I've already taken profit so much, you know, once it comes back up. And then I see that it's moving, and I've already taken profit, because I use it as a strategy. I use it to continue to make me profits, and I pull out some of the profits and then keep some of the profits in to build your margin. And I think with a smaller account, it's better just to keep building it. You know, keep building it, go up to 10, 20, $30,000 account. And when you do that, it will really help you. And then you can start, you know, say you pull out $3,000 in a month, you know, or in a week, you make $3,000 on that week off of Magnetix. You know, leave 1,500 in and take 1,500 out. I promise you, not many people make 1,500 a week. You know, I the only time I've ever made 1,500 or anything more in a week was when I worked construction or any oil field. And you know, my goal with Magnetix is to not sit here and look at the charts. You know, I got other things to do. I want to learn to program. You know, I'm learning to speak a couple other languages. I'm learning how to hold webinars and seminars, because I plan to go around and teach this, and of course sell Magnetix, because I did this for you. I didn't do this just for me. I saw a lot of people losing, a lot of people that were taking their retirements, and they were losing. You know, and the company that was taking them, they didn't care. You know, they don't care that you're losing. All they care is that you're buying their stuff, and they're really good salesmen. That's their job. That's what they're made to do. You know, and as you could see here, we've got tons and tons of times that this has tried to pull it back, and as you could see, it doesn't really take that long for these bigger ones. But if you look around, I mean, you can see these smaller ones back here. You know, they can take quite some time. They really can take some time. But if you look right here, I mean, April 15th, and let's go over here real quick and see. It might even still be open. Yep. So, you know, I mean, it can really take a while. So you're looking at, you know, this been open a little over a month. Or April, May, yeah, so a little over a month. And it hasn't closed yet. And it could be a while, you know, especially with the Swiss's strength over the US dollar right now is ridiculous. And really, you know, I'm teaching this right now because the markets aren't good to be trading manually right now. I mean, there's some people who are profiting from it, but most people are losing, and they're losing a lot of money. So what we do, the logic behind this is, as soon as this forms, I figured why not take trades. Okay. Why not take trades against it? Because I know it's going to come back up to it. So what I want to do is I want to stack trades. And you can use the same lot size on your trades, and you can do as many trades as you want. But I like to use a feature called leveling, and I'll explain that more here in a second. But what you want to do is, you know, you want to stack trades every so far. And something like the USD Swiss, I'm probably going to put the ATR percent to probably like 50%, 60%, because I know that this doesn't move far, and it's not going to move, you know. And when this first formed, I want to be able to get as many trades as I can in there, because with Magnetix, you know, if you trade this manually, you're looking at 55 pips, you know, is what most people are going to get off of this. But with my bot, you know, with Magnetix, what happens is that you stack these trades, and when you stack these trades, you know, you're right now, you're tripling what you would have had. So, and I'll explain more. I'll show examples. You know, I'm not going to go into showing each and every single pair or anything like that. If you want to look, you're more than welcome. And one thing that was brought to my attention this morning is that, like, AU, I use the abbreviations, but AU, Australian US dollar, EU, and NU are very slow moving. And very rarely are you going to find a 5-minute magnet on it. And if you do, you're talking only about 5 or 10 pips. And I don't want to waste my time on something like that. But on EU and them, usually about the 15-minute to 30-minute is what the 5-minute would be on the more, you know, bigger pairs. You won't ever see me trade the yen pairs. You know, I'll do it with Magnetix, but I'm not going to do it manually. I don't trade anything that has to do with the Asian. If it's a US pair like USDJPY, I will definitely trade it. But you know, I'm not gonna do the yen New Zealand. It's a waste of my time. It doesn't move much. You know, and when you do it, it's only going to move every so often and so far, and I just find them a waste of time. I don't really do the Swiss pairs either manually. I try to stick with the European pairs and the USD pairs. But right now you don't really have a choice because the USD pair ain't doing good. So say you got this at 50, you know, you got it at 50%. So you're looking at your trades probably being like this. All right. And then we'll just keep making some more. I always set to 10 trades. I have never seen it really go past 10 trades. Now, if you look at the beginning of this, which I'll go back and show you, I definitely would have exceeded the 10 pairs. I definitely would, or the 10 trades, because this has not stopped going down, and they're both safe havens. So, you know, nobody's going to flock to the US dollar. So what are they doing? They're going to the Swiss pair, because it seems to be, and you know, the Swiss seem to be doing all right now. They definitely don't have what's going on here. Okay, so I mean, we got this, and this is how many pairs it's going to take. And normally you would have some of these that would go farther down, and so this would stack farther down. But on this pair, it all pretty much happened on the one fall. And so let's say I do the leveling, which is going to be a 0.01, 0.02, 0.03, 0.04, 0.05, 0.06, 0.07, 0.08. And so what we do, let me move these so they kind of line up. And when I do have it Magnetix made, I don't think I will resell it to the people who already bought. If I do, it's not going to be very much. It's really going to be for the people who have bought it are probably going to get it for free. I don't want to say that, but it definitely not going to be what you paid for the bot. It would probably 20, 30, 40 bucks to buy it for TradingView, because I believe it's a script, so I believe that it'll trade right off of TradingView. So, you know, we have a feature called leveling. And I do this, I usually do a 0.1 and then do a 0.01 add-on. And so here it would normally be 0.11, 0.12, 0.13, because trading a 0.01 is pointless to me. I don't see enough profits to make it worth my while. We really have limited time in life, and I don't want to spend my life sitting here waiting on a 0.01 to hit 1,000 pips. So I try to go up to a bigger lot size, but you're going to have account to maintain it. And if you're using a 0.1, unless you're using a 500 to 1, I really suggest that you have a couple thousand, $3,000, $4,000 account. maybe even a little higher, because the account that we had was a .1 on a trade, and it was the pound New Zealand, and it blew the account. There wasn't enough, and it was a $2,000 account. So I would strongly suggest you just stick with like a .02, a .03 until you build an account if you're using $500. And so here, we have the .01 to .02. Well, what happens? All right, is I have, let me change this color. Is I have this average price and trade bar in the MT4 platform. Let me change this real quick. And this would actually be a red. So, and what happens is as soon as you start taking your trades, this bar starts off with that. So the very first trade you take, that bar starts there. And with the leveling feature, sorry, let me take a drink real quick. And so with the leveling feature, what happens is the more you go down with the increments, the more that it takes more higher priced trades, the faster this thing's going to move down. So that way, something like this, you're going to be down here like this, probably maybe a little lower once you hit this right here. So that means all you got to do is come back up right here and you're break even. So you still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trades that are all profit all the way up here. And so I give that for free. If you want it, I posted it in the room, and I will continue to give it out for free because it's not mine and I'm not going to sell it. So, but let's say that you do a normal lot size all the same. So say you do a .01, .01, .01, .01. This is going to move with it. All right, this is always going to move with it to your break even, but it's going to be very slow. And I think something like this is probably going to be halfway at least. So you would have a lot longer before you go up into profit, but you're more safe. And there's another feature I'll show you after this that it will you can choose to wipe out this trade and have it keep trading down here, and then it'll take a small loss, but you got to think about it. If it's a small loss here, you're looking at 11 pips. If you're at .1, $11. It's not a big deal. But say it comes down here, you're looking at $60 profit. So you got a $49 profit off of it. So it's really worth it. But you can't use it with the increments. So if you use the FX leveling, you're not going to be able to do it like this. And I'll show you why here shortly. So, but this is the logic behind the bot. This is what I came up with. It stacks trades. It comes back around, and I had it added in there where you could take profit. So once it comes here, because if I see $20 or $30 on a trade, and I know the market will come back, plus I know that the bot will re-put me back in that trade, and if it goes down, then it's just going to restack trades. So I'm gaining that profit with the possibility of it going back down, then I'll gain more profit. Then it'll go back down, and I'll gain more profit. So you're really making it hard to lose. And so the thing that I want to talk about the most is that these markets aren't made for us to win. They're not made for us to continue to be profitable. They do everything against us so that way we lose, because they go off of two of our emotions, fear and greed. And they can't get us to do anything if they can't get us into the market. So they have to entice you to go into the market. They have to get you to go into the market. So what do? They make you feel like you're winning. And once you start winning, you start going in more and more. You start getting confidence, and the next thing you know, they're turning it against you, and they will. These are the banks, and the banks don't want us to win at all. So what I love about this bot is I don't use a stop loss. So there's no way that they can do anything. As long as you practice proper equity management and you make sure that you are practicing it right and doing really what I told you to do. I'm not saying that my way is final. You're always going to be able to do what you want to do. You're always going to be able to make it fit your needs, and that's what I want you to do. I mean, I know people that use the magnet to trade against, so they'll trade it themselves, and then they'll wait, and when it starts showing signs, they'll trade it back up there. I don't like to do that. That defeats the purpose of the bot, and you can continue to have it stack. I don't want to sit here, and I don't want people to have to sit here. I want you to be able to be profitable, just coming back every day and taking a profit. So you got to remember that these market makers are after us, and the best way to avoid them is to not give them a way to take us out, and that's what Magnetix does. Is it's There's no stop loss. There's nothing they can do. All they can do is try to bring this market down farther and farther and farther to where you're sitting in a lot of drawdown. And that's why I do 10, and I usually do them pretty far apart. So something like this, I would probably do 10 trades at 125. It just really depends. It depends if I want to be in the trade forever or if I don't want to be in the trade forever. But I really think the market makers aren't going to be able to figure out a way to eliminate this. The only way would be to stop the breakouts, to stop the fundamentals, and they're not going to be able to do that. That's a part of what causes the markets to move. So we're really invincible against them, and they can see our trades. They can see, but they don't see this. And I think they do, but I don't think it's like we do. I think they just know that they have to come back when they see this kind of big candle. I think they see, oh man, well, we're going to have to come back out and even this out. And they can only go away from you for so long. Because you got to remember, world economies are at play here. So if they go too far and too fast, and that's the thing with this, is this magnet caused a big drop in the U.S. dollar. You know, I mean, the Swiss gained strength in the U.S. dollar weekend. That's why we have it like this. So when this is buying, U.S. dollar is getting strength. And when it's going down, when it's selling, the Swiss is gaining strength over it. So you just want to be able to know they have to come back. And that's why it's so big. And that's what I mean. It tried several times. One time here, two times here, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8. It tried 8 times to come back, and then something happened, or they said, okay, well, they chase the traders, so they see your pendings, they see all that stuff. So of course they're gonna do what they can to get you in there because they gotta accumulate liquidity to be able to make their next move up or next move down. And really, if you don't understand the market makers, then I suggest that you do, because until you do, you're never going to fully understand the forex market, because they are what causes it, and they're amazing. They know what they're doing. They're here to eliminate you, and they're not sitting in front of their computer all day. They're not stressing out. They go in. They have a plan. They have a routine. They go in and they do it and they execute it, and they don't stray from it. And that's what you got to do. You got to have discipline. You got to. This is all 90% discipline, 10% skill. So what we got to do here is go and set one up. So the way we're going to set one up is we're going to go to the MT4. And I got to go here. And I don't want people to think that this is all peaches and cream. You know, I'll show you here, and I'm transparent. I don't lie to nobody. I don't like to lie. Because then I have to lie some more. And I want everybody to see that, I mean, if you look here, this is, 50,000 pips in drawdown. But that's because the markets are moving away. And, a week ago, we saw one of the biggest crashes in the history of cryptos. And it really caused a lot of people to be down and out, and a lot of people are like, oh man, I lost so much money. And And I don't know what I'm going to do, but me, I'm always buying. I never sell the cryptos. I never sell the metals. I never sell the indices. Most of the time, I'm buying those. And if I don't see a buy, then I'm not going to get into it because I know that the sells are temporary in most of those. And when the sells are temporary, that's when I want to be stacking trades. And that's exactly what I did. So, as you can see, yeah, right now I'm in yellow. But the good thing is look at how many trades are stacked on each of these. So all I got to do, I'm at 7,000% margin. And the markets are only going to move a certain way for so long. They're not going to continue to keep moving away. So eventually they're going to come back around. And I know I got 7,000. I am not worried. I'm not losing sleep. I'm not sitting here biting my nails. My hands ain't sweaty because I know that I've seen these all blue before. Many times I've seen them all blue and they're going to come back and they're going to be blue. And I will take profit on a few, but I'm not going to take profit on a whole lot because I told the live session that I would take profit with them. But we'll look and see. By the time this is over, there'll be some of these that are blue, and as you can see, it's just a matter of time. It's a matter of time, and what's even more special about this is, see, you got the USD Swiss or USD CAD, USD CAD, USD CAD, USD CAD. So when this turns blue and this turns blue, what's that mean? That means the market has shifted gears. It has went in a different direction, and when it does that, that can also help you manual trading. Because you've seen, all right, these were all yellow. Now they're starting to turn blue. So that means I can buy the USD CAD. Because right now I do believe I'm selling it. I don't believe that I am buying it. Because the US dollar has been weak, but it's going to gain strength. Here we go. So let's see. And as you can see, yeah, so I'm buying it. So of course right now it's going into profit because I mean look how long that it was down. And look at all my trades stacked. Perfect. The exact distance I told them to. And they're all the way up here. See this? And there's my bar. See? So let's look. Look at that right now. So see, this is where that blue bar started. All right? And then now you got all the way down here. And you got this trade down here. So the bar moved way down here. So I'm almost... Let's look. I'm only a short period away and I will be back in profit, my break even, and then the rest is profit, and hopefully it just continues to go and continues to go. And I don't know if I have a destination. Yeah, there's my magnet. And the thing is, it's when you're adding the indicator and the EA, you need to add the indicator first, find a magnet that you want to go after. And you don't have to always go after the magnet. You can choose for it on the 5 minute to go up and down. And it's going to stack trades and it's just going to keep going. And it'll go up and down, up and down. Because on the 5 minute, it's going to go up and down a lot more. And so, as you can see here, I mean, this thing could stack a lot of trades. And it could really be very profitable. And if you see on the Bitcoin USD here, I think this is the one that this is the one I deployed more today. Because it was still like 25,000%. So I deployed probably about 6 or 7 more pairs. And I have this on everything, I got all these are, see, they're starting to turn blue. I'm not sweating it. I'm not sweating it at all. And here's Bitcoin right here. And as you can see, this took a lot of buys and a lot of sells and a lot of buys and a lot of sells. And that's because I have it set. And Bitcoin moves about 500,000 pips a day. It's hard to believe, but it moves about $5,000 or $6,000 a lot right now, and that's about 500,000 pips. So when I put it to go up 1,000 pips is what I think I have it to take profit at. Yeah, 10,000 pips. So that goes up, closes me out, takes the profit right then. Goes up, closes out, takes the profit right then. And it just continues to do that. But you got to make sure when you put on the indicator that you write down if you're going after price. And write down where it's at, because you need to remove the indicator before you put the EA on there. And so this is the pair we're going to do today. And the very first thing you got to do, all right, is you got to make sure that you go to options, and you make sure you go to expert advisors, and then you click this. And now these you can select them. You don't have to follow suit of what I'm doing. But I don't like it if sometimes I accidentally close this out, or I accidentally do something stupid that I didn't mean to do. Well, this, as you can see, they're self-explanatory. And I don't want to be knocked out of the trade, and I don't want the trade to turn off. I don't want my account to go. I want it to keep trading nonstop, no matter what. And the only time I want it to go out is whether it hits the magnet, or I exit out of it in profit and I close down the bot and redeploy it somewhere else. And you always want to allow DLL imports. It has a warning, but I've never had anything bad happen, and so it's got to be for an EA. It's got to be. So we have the pair here, and so you want to do that first. And then you always want to do this, and this is even manual trading. This is on every MT4. You want to make sure that you click on each and every one of these, because it refreshes the tick data, and you want the tick data to be more up to date. Now, what I do, because I'm very patient. I wasn't to begin with, but I am now because I understand it. But what I do is I just go to the history center, because you'll see if you look at the chart now and then you go and you update this history center, you'll sometimes see that it moves. You'll see candles be in different places because it's not fully updated. But when you do this right here, it's updating the pair. And as you can see, it's fairly fast on most, see? And it's fairly fast on most pairs. The most it's going to take you is 2 or 3 minutes. So it doesn't bother me. And even after doing that, which again, that's tools, and that's the history center. I don't need that. So what you do is I always go back and I still do this all over again, even after I do that. So that way it lines up. So what we're going to do, and on the charting software that I use, it'll show magnets that the MT4. The MT4 is more accurate. It's more up to date than those charting softwares. And that one particular charting software is off a lot of the time. Like some of the candles aren't where they are on the MT4. So I really only use it as a general reference and to teach the classes. But other than that, I do most of everything on the MT4 or TradingView, which is why I want to move over there with TradingView. I really like TradingView. It's very useful. So, and as you can see here, I mean, this one is definitely down too. And there's nothing I can do about it. The markets are not playing right. They're not playing nice with us. So what are they doing? They're just stacking trades, and I'm good with that, because I know this is going to come back around. I mean, let's look at the Bitcoin here. This was on the drop. Okay, this was on the drop Wednesday. And as you can see, I'm up $7,854 in this account. And I've only had this deployed since like probably like April 6th. And so as you can see here, yeah, I'm down 47,000 pips. But you got to remember, first of all, I'm in exotics, I'm in cryptos, I'm in metals. So the pip count is a lot higher. But also, I mean, look, I'm at 13,000%. There is no way that this market is going to keep going against me on every single one of these pairs that are deployed and cost me the margin out. No. Eventually it's going to go, turn around. And as you can see here, just from the drop on Bitcoin so far, I have 5, 9, 12, so about $13,000-$14,000. So as soon as this comes back up, I'll have $12,000 or $14,000 profit just off of Bitcoin. And as you can see, these other ones, I'll make good amounts of money, good amounts of pips. I mean, today we just passed 200,000 pips on the year. 200,000 pips on the year. I would like to see some of these hedge funds and some of these retail traders in their groups, I would love to see them tell me that they have 200,000 pips this year. And yet they're in drawdown. But everybody teaches you, oh, drawdown's bad. And drawdown's only bad if you're over leveraging. You're only going to worry about drawdown if, who cares what that number means? I've never had anybody walk up and say, oh, well, you're not that good of a trader because you draw down. I don't care. I don't care about drawdown. It's nothing. All you got to do is just be patient. You got to have the account that manages it and wait. And when the markets do start moving, these are going to go blue faster. Or if it goes against me, it's going to stack more trades, 10 trades each. And then when it comes around, I'll be in profit. And it could be a few weeks from now. It could, some of these I have in the 30-minute, the 1 hour. I'm not in a hurry. I like the higher time frames because they're cleaner. They take a little longer. But even most of these 5-minute ones here, I mean, I'm chasing daily magnets. I'm chasing daily magnets. And as you can see here, this one definitely 1, 2, 3. So it took 3 trades, 4 trades, and then it stopped. So I didn't even put 10 trades on this. Let's see what I did. Probably 5. Oh, this is 3. And so this was supposed to take each other out, I think, and 10 trades. Oh no, so I don't have it set there. So what I should have done is I should have set this to true, which I'll explain this here in a minute, but I should have set this to true and it would actually keep stacking them and eliminate the 1 for a small loss like I explained earlier. But as you can see, I'm headed to 82. This is a sell. So I'm headed to 82,885. And this one's definitely going to be in drawdown for a little bit, but I'm not worried about it. I mean, 13,000%. 13,000%. There is absolutely no reason to worry about it. And if you do, you're just going to lose sleep, unnecessary sleep. So, sorry if I'm rambling. I'm trying to think of everything and explain everything so that way you don't have questions. I mean, you're more than welcome if you do have questions, but I still like to cover everything so that way people can just reset the video. And you're more than welcome to look. You can go to my Facebook. You can go to FX Warlords Facebook. You can go to the group in Telegram, and you're going to see. I provide evidence proving that I have. And I actually have about 201,000 pips. And it's going to be higher. My goal is 350,000, and I think I'm going to overshoot that. I really think once these markets start moving, if they do it this year, that Magnetix could be 500,000 pips this year. So we'll see. But I've already accomplished more than most people will with it. And so I'm not worried about the statistics or nothing like that. All I'm worried about is you guys being profitable. That's what cares. That's why I created it. That's why I sell it. I don't do it for the money. If I did it for the money, it'd be a lot more. And trust me, it's going to be raised up in price because of the fact that how successful it really is. It is amazingly successful. And once the people who got big money, $100,000 account, $500,000 account, they're going to be able to make a bank of money just like in this right here. This is a $500,000 account. I still have 7,800% margin. It's down $63, but the account's up $35. And it's going to turn around. So I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, $63,000 on a $500,000 account. I'm not worried at all. All of these are going to come back. They will all come back around. If they don't, they're going to sit like that for a little bit, but they're all going to come back eventually. We know what the market does. It sells, it buys, and it ranges. That's it. That's all it does. That's all they got. So you just got to be ready and be prepared and be calm. Most people I know, they're going to be, 63,000 pips. But it's not that bad. It really isn't. People teach you to make it think because the market goes off of fear and greed. They want you to be afraid because you make irrational decisions. You jump into the market when you're not supposed to. Just like greed. You're gonna lose out on a lot of money and lose a lot of money if you let greed control you, because when you have greed, it causes you to jump into the market. Oh, it's going to keep going, which I've done many times. Oh, it's going to keep going. As soon as I got in it, it sold. And also with greed, they're going to, that's what they thrive off of. They get you to automatically jump back into the market. Oh, I got 100 pips, but I want another 100 pips. So you jump back in, and next thing you know, definitely you are definitely having quite a bit of losses. And my goal is to make sure you don't lose. And I can't control what you do after you buy the bot. All I can do is have you try to be successful and follow what I did, because I've tested this. I've been testing this for a long time. Shh. Shh. And so take that stuff to your room if you're gonna sit there and play with it. Okay. Jesus. Alright. That was quick. But you got good. You didn't get your other stuff? Oh, that's tomorrow. Alright, dude, I'm on camera. Okay, so sorry, my son just got home. So, I mean, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to look at this. And I keep the settings the same on this. And actually, I clicked the EA, so that's my fault. And so alright, so I always set it to be the same because it's never going to change, especially with the indicator. The indicator is never going to change. The only thing you could do is, when I'm doing the indicator, I like to go back quite a few pips. I like to go back 8,500 at least, especially on the 5 minute, because 8,500 pips ain't a whole lot of. But if you're going on like the daily and stuff, 8,500 pips or 8,500 candles is definitely going to be most of the candles. So I don't do it on the higher time frame. But I mean, sometimes I go to like 12.5. And you guys can go ahead and copy this. This is pretty universal. This is the way I do it. I know that the programmer puts this at 10, and you can do that, but I like to see all of them. And this right here means that it's going to be a 2 pip candle or above to show me a magnetic. And I want to see the small ones even if I don't. So I will explain most of this stuff on the EA because it's the same settings. And I don't know what that is. Let's see. This might actually be. Huh. I don't know why my indicator ain't working. So we just updated the pairs or the indicator in the EA because the website is not communicating right all the time, and if the website's down, then it causes us to be down, and we don't want that. So let's see if it allows us again. If not, we're gonna have to move over to a different one. I don't know why it's denying it. Okay, so we're good. It was just a brief second. Like I said, it's a brief second. So, and we will be doing an affiliate program eventually as we get a little bigger and the profits start running in a little more. I plan to do affiliates so that way if you tell people, because really it's you guys that own this that's going to help me sell it. You have to have the success, and if you don't have the success, then you can definitely, badmouth the bot or say it's not worth it, and it could really cause, the make or break. So my goal is to make sure that you guys are profitable on it. So that's got to be down.
Sorry, put my headphones in.
So it's really got to be down. Go to your room. You're not going to sit there and make popcorn right now.
Why?
Because I said. I said no. You can wait till I'm done.
But then my mom's going to be home.
Okay, so you can wait for dinner. I'm not doing this. Go.
You're only in a meeting.
So, sorry about that. So as you can see on the USD Swiss, and sometimes this will only show one, and so I'll just go and click these. For some reason it updates it before this, but then again it updates it on here also. And I don't know why I'm scrolling that far. Okay, so this is the only one really that's going to be on here right now. And this is the USD Swiss anyway, so I'm going to probably go up to the 30. See what we get here. It'll take a minute for it to load. And the more candles that you go back, the longer it's going to take it to load. And sometimes when it doesn't load, I just go into it, and then as you could see, so, and here we go. I mean, the USD Swiss, if you look at it, look how far it's been going down. It's been going down since April nonstop, and that's because the dollar is really weak, and hopefully we're seeing a turning point. But even this week I saw some bad news. So what we're going to do here is, as you can see, you see all of these. And if you don't write down this top one up here and put a destination and say to do the close of, because the anatomy of a magnet is this right here. So the bottom part that is closest to the candles is going to be the touch. And it's the same way on one below the market. The one closest to the candles is going to be the touch of the magnet. And then you got this is the close of it. And you don't necessarily want to go on the close. I don't normally do the close of the magnet, because you'll see, especially on a charting platform, that sometimes it'll come up and just touch it and then go down. And if you do the close, then you're going to be all the way back in that, and you could possibly be all the way back down and then all the way back up. So sorry, I had to pause. Yeah, son wanted to eat and stuff. I didn't want the noise. All right, so you want to make sure that you definitely put in the price. Otherwise, if you do the touch, it's going to come up and it'll do this. And if you want this one way up here, and you click on touch, it's going to go to this touch. And if you have the reversal on, then it's going to come to this, touch this, and then it's going to go down instead of continuing to go up. So I normally do price. You don't have to, but I normally do price. So what we're going to do is I normally keep a writing pad with me at all times. And what I normally do is I'm going to say, okay, 0.94070 is the way up to this. And a lot of the time what I try to do is I try to come into these magnets late. So that way I'm not sitting in them the whole time. Because something like this, I mean, especially in the 30, and I look at those, they're everywhere. And there's a lot that the US can go up that far. So there's a lot of potential. But what I try to do is I try to come in here. I try to see how far this has been in here, and I want to come in here because it's still going to stack tons of trades. And plus, it's going to come back down, and you can take profit the whole time. I mean, this would be in some serious profit right now. Serious profit, all from this magnet from February. So this is actually since COVID happened last year. Yep. But everyone, no, actually, it might be February this year because it's the 30 minutes, so. These are probably formed from it. Let's see. So March. So this is actually COVID right here. And if we wanted to, I'm sure that some of these were magnets at the time. So, but you got to remember the indicator is important because it's made to go back on the chart and find magnets that you want to find back then that you could chase. But once you deploy the bot, the settings on that only start to find the magnets from the time you deploy it on. So it won't find much of these. It'll find the one that you're going after, but it's not going to find a whole lot. But as soon as the market starts going up and everything, it'll start showing all of those, which I have in a I have a good instance. But as you can see, I mean, it doesn't show very many magnets. It's because it's only going to show the one I'm really going after. But I had one, see here. So this has been deployed since over here. So it'll stay showing them. Even once they close, it will continue to show them. Just reference for you. So now we got where we want to go. So it's time to take the indicator off. And it's time to deploy the bot. Mr. King Magnetix. And as you can't tell, I do have FX Warlord merchandise. I got coffee cups. I have hats. We're about to buy a press so we can do it a lot quicker. But, you know, anything helps us out at FX Warlord. You know, we're trying to get started. So it's slow. And it's like trying to climb a hill of broken glass. It's definitely hard. And so wearing our stuff will help promote us. And there's nothing like word of mouth. You can pay all the advertisement you want, but word of mouth is really what's going to make or break you. And so, as you could see, I'm wearing the one with my name, and I could get your name on it if you want. But we also do the emblem, and we have several different ones. So if you're interested, just let me know, because I'll get it to you. I mean, you will have to pay for the hat and the shipping, but it's very much appreciated. And the more people I can get to wear it, I've already sold a few, and they wear them for me, and I am forever thankful. I'm thankful for your purchase. I'm thankful for giving us a chance, and I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that you guys are very, very profitable, because that's the goal. So as you can see, of course, we don't have the magnet no more because we took off the indicator. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down to the Magnetix CA, and so here, you're going to want to make sure this right here is your positions. You want to go long or short. And of course on this, I want to go long. And a live trading, you're definitely going to want that on. And these two, you're going to want to select it. Now this one allows you to modify the signal settings. But even with it selected, if you go in and you edit this bot and go back to OK, if you go in, it's going to restart the bot over. It's not gonna, oh, it's in a trade here. It's going to definitely start over. And so you're gonna have that one trade plus the trade it just took and plus the other trades. And it don't really bother me because I have, you know, a good margin level, so I really don't care when it happens. And I do it quite a bit. You got to understand, this is all teaching and everything. So a lot of this is, I'd say I'm a little reckless with it because I want to show the versatility of it. I want to show that it could be down a lot of pips and it will come back. It will come back. And that's what my goal is to show. And that's why I do the negative 60,000 and the negative 70,000. I just start going in and I start picking it because you don't need a weekly analysis. It's good to know your analysis because you know where it's going to go. But if you're on the 5 minute, you just go up and down. If you're going on the daily or something, yeah, you definitely want to see if it's going to be a buy or sell or if it's going to go down. And if it's been going up for months, I mean, I strongly suggest you don't continue to try. Go ahead and take that trade there as a sell. And if it does keep going up, it will stack against you. Or stack with you, not against you. And it will stack, and then you'll be down in profit. So, yeah, you want to go long. And here, people say that you don't have to select both of these. But I do. I do anyway. So that way, it's telling the bot the same thing instead of the bot trying to figure out, well, do I listen to that or do I listen to this? Which, you know, it doesn't have thinking, but I'm just exaggerating a little bit. So you have your trade direction, and then you got search for existing magnet. I never touched that, so leave that to true. Never turn it off, and you're more than welcome to copy this. But let me first, as I said, I have this loaded, so that way I don't have to continue to select, because most of these settings I keep saying. And so search for existing magnet would be if you're going after something, and you want to be more safe, because you have a safe and then you have a right now. And the right now setting puts you right in, right at that moment. And that's what I had put in because I don't want to miss it. And there was many times where I didn't have this, and, I didn't have the setting at all. And I sat there and waited and waited and waited. Even when it was 30 or 40 pips away from the magnet, I sat there and waited and waited and waited, and it never hit it. So I finally got tired of it, or it never even activated the bot. So I got tired of it, and I just enter trade when magnet is found. And so you got your lot sizes, and this is where we're going to get back into here. So 0.04, let's do 0.1, because that's what I normally use. And so you have this feature here, and we're going to go ahead. Only 2 of these can be selected. So if you have this one selected, then it's got to be this one or this one. You cannot have both of these selected. So you can't have something like this. The bot's not going to know what to do. So you want to make sure, and for the sake of this, we're going to go like this for now. And so you want to make sure that either this one and this one are selected, or this one and this one. And then you have your use the ATR for entry. So this is gonna put you in when it moves so many pips if you don't have it getting you in right away. And I use the one that gets you in right away, so I don't barely ever use this. But I keep this to true because this is how far your trades are going to be apart. And on the USD Swiss, like I said earlier, I'm going to do about 120% ATR. So that way it spaces them out a little bit, but we're already pretty far down, so I don't really see it coming all the way down, but it could. So I don't want to. And I also want you guys to know, I should have said this at the beginning, is I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a legal assistant. I can't give you legal advice, and I can't make you choose what to trade. I can't tell you what to trade. All I can do is show you what I do, and then it's up to you to make the decisions of what you want to do. So I definitely want to get that out of the way, that I don't take no legal action or anything for anything that happens to you. So we're not responsible at FX Warlord, whether you're profitable or whether you are not profitable, whether you're losing or you got to understand that past results don't always equal future gains. And so is there a lot of potential in this bot? Yes, there is. But could it something happen? It could. I don't know what. I can't tell you what would happen. All I can tell you is that it could happen. And so don't take my word for it. Make sure that you know what you're doing. Make sure you're making your own decisions. Just as with the cryptos I give out and stuff like that. Like, I can't tell you what to buy. I can't tell you what to invest in. All I can do is tell you what I do. And you can make your decisions after that. But I always try to provide evidence, so that way you make the same decision. Because most of the time, if I'm choosing something, especially in cryptos and investing, I do a lot of research, because I don't want to put money into something that I'm going to lose. I'm not in the game to lose. I'm in the game to win. And I lost a lot at the beginning and before I really stepped into the crypto space. And now we're FX Warlord. I want to go worldwide, really. And that's why I'm learning different languages, is because I want to be able to reach people all over the world. And so it's going to take time, but I'm also learning to program and also learning to do graphics, so that way I can get into the NFT space and have FX Warlord NFTs. Plus, I have something special that I want to do, but I don't want to tell nobody, because I don't want it to I don't want it to be taken. And I'm not saying that you'll take it, but I'm just going to keep quiet about it right now. But it's something big, and I'm hoping that eventually it becomes great. But yeah, I want to get into program. I want to program blockchain, and I really want to be able to work side by side with the other programmer. And I can't do that right now because I'm not the greatest. So we're going to do 125% ATR. So that means it's going to take 125% of the ATR. And we're on the USD Swiss. So the ATR on the USD Swiss is going to be USD Swiss right here. So the ATR on this right now is 51 pips, or the ADR. And that's horrible. I mean, look at some of these. I mean, 50 pips, 40 pips, 53 pips. This is all because you got to remember that the cryptos didn't exist almost a year ago, or they just weren't as mainstream. It was more of just a group of people back then. And so the crypto just hit $2.2 trillion. And before it did that, where was that $2.2 trillion? That $2.2 trillion was in gold. It was in metals. It was in the Forex market. It was in stocks. So now cryptos have poked their face, and they're not going nowhere. They're not going nowhere. And I strongly suggest you learn to get into them because it's really a new way of money, and our system's broken. Our financial system is very broken. So we're paying people to do things for us. There's too many middlemans, and cryptos take that away. They allow us to have more of our own money, and the governments are going to try to outlaw them. The governments are going to try to wipe, but they're here to stay. Whether their best bet is to just join them. So we're looking at a 51 pips ADR. That's not worth my time. It really ain't. It's not something that I like. And so you'll do that at 125. And if this is selected to truth, then this setting right here is what you'll go off of. But if this is false, then you can set, okay, I want the pips to be 200 pips apart. You don't want to use the ADR. So if you don't want to use the ADR or the ATR, you'll want to do this right here. But this needs to be on false. And you'll want to do 100, 200 pips. Maximum trades, I always do 10. You're more than welcome to do whatever you want, especially on a pair. If it looks like it's just now going down, there's a chance that it could be going down for a while. So on the 5 minute, it's not really going to happen. On the 5 minute, you're normally looking at being in a trade for about 35, 45 minutes, or not minutes, hours. Sometimes 2 weeks at the latest. But once you move up 30 minute, you could be in there for a few months. And then if you move up to the hourly and the 4 hour, you could be in a magnet for almost a year on some of them. I have seen some people be in a trade for a year managing, and I don't want that right now. I don't mind it, which some of these are set up that way, but I really don't want to. I really don't want to sit in that long. So that's why I do the 5 minute. If you do the 5 minute, even a 10 trades on a 5 minute, that's a lot of trades. And if you're going to do that on the 5 minute, I'm on the 30, so I would rather be far apart. So I'd rather it be far apart. But if you're doing the 5 minute on the USD Swiss and you think it's going to come back up, because you got to remember, there's tiny magnets formed in the 5 minute way, anywhere it's at. It could form one down here. It could form one right here. And so when it does that, you got the maximum trades. And so you're not going to get 10 trades. But I like 10 trades because I've never really seen it go past that. There are times when I've seen instances of it doing it. And it very well can. But I've never seen it really do it too many times. Because I usually space these out pretty well. So like if I go to Bitcoin, I do a 250, 300% ADR or ATR. And so, it's going to be a long way down before it comes to the 10. So, and the reason I did these two here, which I don't normally use these features anymore, but I did that because this next one is exit old trades when new levels reached. And so what that is if you have that set to true, let's go back to the drawing. So if you have that set to true, all right, pretend that these don't say 0.01, 0.02, 0.03. Pretend that they say 0.01, 0.01, 0.01, 0.01, 0.01, 0.01. And I'm not going to keep saying it, which I already said most of them. And what will happen is if this did continue, let's say, let me find drawing tool. Okay, let's say the market didn't go this way. Okay, let's say the market went down like this. Okay, well, when it does that, and you've already, say you're already at your, you stuck 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you stuck 8 trades, and that's all you took. And instead of it sitting in the market this whole time down here, you would be in drawdown a long ways without any chance. And so your break even is going to be up here. And your break even, it's going to take a while for it to come back to even hit break even. And so I don't want that. I would rather take a loss and have it continue. So say if you have it at 8 trades, let's see which one I was at. So if you have it at, let's say 8 trades, change that for the example. If you have 8 trades and then you have this exit old trades when new levels reach to true. Oops. Let's turn that off because I just activated the bot. Ooh. Okay. I don't know why it's doing that. I really don't. It seems that towards the end of the day, once the bot's deployed, it's no bother of whether it communicates with the site. But I'm still running off of the old one before the change. We changed the activation procedure to where it's going to be better and more easier.
Start to game.
So you have this here, all right, and then I gotta go back here a little bit. I'm sorry. And then we had this, what, at 125, and that at 8. Okay, so now we're back here. So when you have 8 trades and you have this set to true, what's gonna happen when this happens is it will, and remember, these are all the same. What's gonna happen is that when it hits the 8-1 and it's about to come back down, it's about to come down more, what it's going to do is it's going to take this as a loss and put it down here. So you're taking that loss right there where it was. 9 pips. And at a 0.1, you're looking at $9. But you're also looking at, and I believe I showed this already earlier, you're looking at 60 pips. So you made 51 pips. So it's definitely worth taking that little loss. And it will continue to do this. It will continue to do it as long as it continues to stack. It will go down. It'll take another loss. Now, of course, this can be pretty critical once you're down here. Because now you're going to start looking at, let's say we do it all the way here. You're going to start looking at about 50 bucks. Which ain't that much. It really isn't. But if you look and it went all the way down here, that means you're going to be here 50 bucks compared to 84. So yeah, you're still making pips. You're making 34.4 pips, but you're not sitting in that drawdown without absolutely any trades to be taken. So it's a good feature. I do it when I do the smaller accounts. I take the little losses. This is the only time, except the one time I said, that I ever take losses on this, except if it's a bug or something that I'm trying to fix. So, and that's the only time you'll ever take a loss, is if that, or if you over leverage, of course. So, let's go back here. All right, so I don't use that feature. And as long as these two are selected, that feature is great. But let's go ahead and say, this is your increment. Okay, so this is your increment. And so what's going to happen is the fact that this from now will go 0.1 and it's going to add 0.01 increments. So it's going to be, like I showed you here, 0.01. So it would be 0.11, 0.12, 0.13 because it's adding 0.01 increments. And this is the leveling feature that I explained earlier. It's a feature I had added in, and I like it because remember, it brings this down here a lot quicker. So it makes me break even a lot faster and then puts me into profit a lot quicker as well. So let's see. Let's take that, delete that. Okay. So I like the leveling, and the reason you don't want to have, and you can do it, but the reason that you don't want to have it, wrong one. The reason you don't want to have this on when, or this feature right here on when this happens, is because remember we're at point 1 here. So when we go back to the charting software and you look at this, all right, when it comes down here to take this trade out, it will put you back at point 1. So it starts, whatever you're here, it starts all the way over, which isn't bad. But if it ends up taking another 4 trades, then you start losing, because then you're looking at a 0.15. And so you're losing $1.50 a pip. And it starts over. So yeah, you're at 0.01 here, 0.02, 0.03, 0.04. And when you're doing that, it's just not something I want to do. It's not a feature I had put in there for that reason. So if you're using the leveling, I strongly suggest that you don't have it take you out of this trade and move you here, because yeah, it's a small loss here, here, and here, but it's also going to start you over. And I don't want that. If I'm all the way down here, I want to be in profit at the highest. I want to be in profit the most, because right here, remember, we're at 0.18. So we're at $1.80 a pip. And if you go down here, you're at $1 a pip. So it's still feasible, and it's still going to be profit. It's just not something I want to do. So what we have here is we have next. So far we have this, and I have this to false because I don't want it to do that. But I do select that when these two are selected. But as long as this one and this one are selected, then you want that to be false. Then you got your on, your touch. The next settings, you got on touch, on close, on price. And you can do on touch and you can do on close if you don't want to sit there, and you put it on going up and down. So that way, as soon as it touches it, it goes down. Or as soon as it closes it, it goes down or up. So I don't use that usually. I go after price. I usually find something that I'm going after, or I usually have a destination. As with like Bitcoin, cryptos, metals, indices, I'm always buying. So I'm always looking for the magnet that is the farthest up. With like Bitcoin right now, it has a magnet at 61,616. And so that's a long ways from where it's at now, and I'm going to be in a lot of profit when it happens. Some of these I will be like this one. This one's down quite a bit. See? So, I mean, imagine once it does turn around, though, you're looking at about $50,000 profit. So when it comes back around and hits that $50,000 profit, it's well worth it. And that's only down that far because of the crash that happened on Wednesday, which people are still regretting. But I liked it for the fact that it's going to be about $60,000 gain when it comes back up. And it's going to. I mean, like I said, cryptos are always going to go up. They retrace just like the markets do. They just retrace faster and drop faster. So, per our example, we're going to go for price. And we did, which one was it? 0.94070. And so that's going to show it. And once you deploy this, it's actually going to show it up there. I don't know if it's going to deploy for some reason. I got to get with the programmer after this example and find out why my bot ain't working. But it might be because I have the old ones. And so, of course, this is going to be closed trades when the total pips. And sometimes on a like the USD Mexican, the exotic pair, like I can get this number up to 50,000. 50,000 pips before it closes out my bot. And I am not worried. If I go after 50,000 pips, then I'm putting this to false because there's no reason to keep trading if I gain 50,000 pips. If I gain 50,000 pips, it's over. You know, might as well go to a different pair. But you can keep going if you want to. Hey, sometimes it'll hit that before because each time, depending on how many maximum trades you have, is depending on how much profit and how much. And if you're at 200 pips per level, then you're gonna look, and you got 8 levels. You're looking at 16,000 pips if it activates all 8 trades. So I mean that's a lot. So what I do is I normally set it, and on the USD Swiss, I think 2,000 is about feasible. I don't think it'll be a minute before it hits that. But when total pips keep trading, you want that to true. So that way when it does hit this, it will keep trading. But if you don't, like Bitcoin, when it hits 61,616, I want it to turn off. I mean, that's done made $20,000, and on my trades, I'm looking at about $50,000. I'm good with that. I don't need it to keep trading. And that way, if you're not home or you're away from the computer, you're not worried about, oh, did the bot put me back into this trade? When you don't want to be back into that trade. So it's really, like I said, it's a strategy. It's a strategic. You got to be strategic. You got to think of what the markets are going to do and try to be one step ahead of it. It's just like chess. When you're playing chess, you don't want to look at PC. You want to look 3 or 4 moves ahead. You want to think, what is he doing? It's the same thing with the market makers. They're people just like us. They have thinking just like us. It's just the fact that they get to see all the trades and who's where and who's got a stop loss and who's over leverage. So they're a little more sophisticated, but it's like we're playing chess with the market makers. So I mean that can be whatever you want it to be. I'm gonna put 2,000. I'm still gonna have a trade because I think that I went up pretty far and it could be a while, and I think it's more than 2,000 pips, especially if it keeps going down. It's gonna stack me in some good trades. Pips from target to exit, that's going to be, if you're doing a small 5-minute pair and you're going after a magnet that's fairly close, that's going to be like your slippage or your spread. You know, do you want this to close before, or do you want it to be, like I said, there's many times where it'll come up and act like it's going to touch it, and it won't even touch the touch of the magnet. It will actually just barely look like it's going to. And so you want to put this because that way it'll close you. And whatever you put, so say I put 25, it's going to close me out 25 pips before it hits the magnet. And I do that on a lot of them just so that way if I'm not paying attention, I'm not worried about it. But you can also do it for your spread if you want to. But if I'm gaining 2,000 pips, I'm not worried about a 5 or 10 pip spread at all. And the exotics, of course, you're going to want to worry about a little more. But the exotics I'm chasing, even on the USD Mexican, I'm chasing about 100 pip total profit, 100,000 pip total profit. And so you're going to want to look for reversal magnet. I mean, it's the same thing with this, like the USD Swiss. Or the USD Swiss, if you're looking for the reverse magnet, when it hits my destination, it's going to sell. And I wanted to do it on this pair for the fact that I stuck this way up there. And I stuck it. So once it gets way up there, I'm going to expect it to turn around if it don't turn around before then. And that's why I take profit. Show dashboard, of course, is going to be the little blue box that's over here. Dashboard location is, you can choose. I don't ever change it. I just leave it where it's at. I don't usually touch this. Show the dashboard, I have it do it. But you got to remember, when you're looking at the dashboard and you got 2,000 pips here, it's going to show you risking a lot more than what you're gaining unless you're going after like 100. But most of the time it's going to show you that you're risking a lot more, and that's because you don't have a stop loss and it can continue to go down. But like I said, you got to be smart and think about it. And as I posted in the chat room earlier, there's 3 main people that I would say to be able to find an analysis off every week. And there's an ask and analysis. It's called the AAA session, and it's got 3 of the number 1 top rate retail traders in the United States. And they are amazing, but they are human and they're flawed, and they don't follow the market makers method. So I have seen them lose. And but they go through the market, and right now they really focused on stocks because they know that the forex market is not doing well, and so they're really on the stocks. And when they're on the stocks, they they're not really giving you any pointers. But with the forex market, they'll tell you what pairs to look at, why they're looking at those pairs, what destinations they're going, and it's free. It's on YouTube. It's called Ask an Analyst. And then you have a guy named Bradley Gilbert, and Bradley Gilbert is amazing. He used to work for the banks. He actually was a bank trader and for like 25 years, and he's amazing. And he actually goes through the markets every day about 4 o'clock p.m., I believe. And he goes through there and he tells you. And the good thing about him is he don't always take trades, and he'll tell you if the markets are crap. He tells you the markets are no good. I don't see any trades, and so he's very educational, and he actually gives you 4 free courses in his thing, and you can find them on his website, and he gives you 4 free courses on how the banks trade and what their procedure is, and he really explains it really well. So and then we have Chris Pulver, and he's part of the AAA, the Ask an Analyst, but he's also his own person, and he does his own weekly outlook pretty much every week. He used to do it a lot more. I don't know if he's doing it too much right now with the way the markets are, but you can check them all out on YouTube. They're all free. They do charge for their mentorships and stuff like that if you want to do that, but I strongly suggest you just use their videos to give you a direction of where the markets are, because most of the time they all agree with each other. They all point at the same thing. So it's good because right now I'm not going to be able to give you the hot picks, and I'm not going to be able to show you what pairs and stuff like that because I don't look at that stuff. I just go on, I find a magnet, and I go after it. And I know that as long as I use proper equity management, it's going to hit there eventually. And I'm not in a hurry. I'm not in a hurry because greed will cause you to be in a hurry, and then it causes you to make mistakes that you shouldn't make. So, and then of course we have here what's on the indicator. But as I said, remember, most of the time it's going to show after you deploy. It's not going to show previous. And so I like to make them a different color. I like them to be dark violet. You can make them any color you want. You can make the bullish green, the bearish red. That's up to you. But I just try to stay away from the normal people on red and blue and green. You know, I'm trying to do something in a different color so it sticks out. And so you have those. And then pending color is going to show you all your pendings, which it shows you as soon as you deploy it. And then your price color will be the goldenrod. And that's going to be the ones that you're headed towards. And then, of course, candles to scan. And I try not to do this too high for the fact that it's running the EA. And if you do that, it's going to look back why it's trying to trade. And I just really don't want to put that kind of stress on them. And then, of course, this is all, I never touch these. And you can look in our PDF file that comes with them, and they explain them to you. But I don't use them, so I'm not going to sit here and explain them. But it all has to do with what you're looking at, the candles to go back, how far. It kind of includes the algorithm in a way to explain to you, but it doesn't in a way to where, you know, my bot can be copyrighted. So use fixed pips for impulsive candle. I always keep on true, and like I said, I want that to be a 2.0. So, and then we will deploy it and see if it allows me. So there we go. We'll see if it goes on or goes off. I don't know why it's going off. I have no idea why it's doing that. So let's go here, I think. And as you can see, I'm starting to go in profit, and I'm already in the USD Swiss there. So, and of course, I'm bringing up this. I don't know why I'm doing that. So USD Swiss, let's see. USD Swiss. And as I said, you know, people be freaking out on this stuff right here, and I used to show it. I haven't been in blue on all of these since last year for the fact that nothing's going right in the markets right now. But I used to show everybody how these would all be yellow, and then eventually they go to blue, and so it's nothing to sweat about. And this is what I do. I had it put so when you come in and you do take profit like this, if you do come in and you take profit, all you do is I just go in here and I look and I'll look and I'll be like $10. I look at my commission and my swap. That's a $9 profit. I take it. I take it. And I'm just gonna continue to take it. And so this is what I'm gonna show you. I gotta bring up this real quick. Give me 1 second. We're about done. It's gonna take a minute for this to load. So, and I suggest you use a VPS. I'm not trying to, you know, get you to spend any more money than you have, but you can access a VPS from anywhere you are at any time. And what I was saying is when you do take profit, it'll enter you right back into that trade at that moment. And it's not doing it at this exact second, but it will put you right back into the trade at that exact spot. It really just depends. Some of these brokers be trying to funny stuff because they can't stop me. And so they be trying to do some funny stuff, and that's why it's very important to use a regulated broker. Use a broker that's regulated in some major form. So here we go, and let me find, this is one of the guys, and this is an example I showed him when I was presenting the bot to him. And I have to move this over here. Okay. And so what we have here is, you could see, it's stacked trades. And what took a 65.7 pip trade, and this is what it did. It took 65.7 pips, and it turned it into 255.2 pips. And it took 35 hours. 35 hours for this entire thing to happen. So not even a day and a half. A day and a little over a day. And so it did 35 hours and it made $353. And so, I mean, and this is just on the 5 minute, on the Euro USD. Even a pair that moves as slow as this. And there are magnets on the Euro USD. Don't get me when I said earlier, don't trade AU, NU, or EU. It's just the fact that the 5 minute doesn't have very many magnets like it would on the pound Aussie or the pound New Zealand. And of course, be careful with the pound pairs. They can definitely, it's the one that I blew the account on, and so they definitely can be, where is this at? I'm sorry, I got 4 screens, so it's hard to keep up with these. So I'm going to X out of that. And so, I mean, back to the VPS. I strongly suggest you get a VPS. Chart VPS. ChartVPS.com is amazing. They're among the top computers in the world in speed. They've been amazing. I've tried well over 20 different VPSs. They've all not kept up with me. If you go there and you click on the bubble and talk to Marco, and take the time to do this. Take the time to talk to him and let him know you want the most memory and the most space that he can give you for the dollar. You know, tell him you want the most space and the most memory that he can give you for the $50 one or the $80 one, or just tell him what your budget is and tell him you want the most space and the most memory for that budget, and he'll either refer you to one that's already priced or he'll give you one for that price that you're telling him. And he's great. He's not going to overcharge you. He's not going to say, hey man, you need a server you need a dedicated server and it's $180 a month. He's not going to do that to you, and he knows that I refer you, and so when you do message him in the bubble, and he responds fairly fast. Let him know that I sent you. Say Chris sent me. He's going to know exactly who I was. You could say Chris McManus, but he knows exactly who I am, and he will really help you out. But they're a little pricey, and you get what you pay for. So if you pay cheaply, you're gonna get cheap equipment. And so I use him because they're good servers, and they don't mess you around, and they don't try to upgrade you if you don't want upgrading. I just recently upgraded, and I mean I got more than enough, and I'll show you right now. I mean, I got way more than enough. I'm running all these, and I'm running different bots. I'm running bots from all over the market. I have over probably 400 or 500 different bots. The ones from all over the webs. I got the GPS robot. I've tried them all, and they're not as profit. I started running the GPS robot, and as you can see, it's in a trade right now, and it's down. But this one does not lose. I've never seen it take a loss. And yeah, it's nice, but this is one that's going to take 10, 12, 15, 20 years before I really start seeing a whole big of a profit. This has been running just as long as Magnetix, and this is up $30, $30.81. So if you're expecting big gains, I'm not going to strongly suggest this, but if you look here, as you can see, I mean, I got great memory. There's nothing that's going to take it down. And I mean, this is an overhead cost, and this is really what I got to maintain a certain amount of bots a month to be able to pay for this. And they're amazing. I'll never have to upgrade this one, even once I start deploying more bots, which I still plan on it. And we got more bots coming. We got a ranging bot coming. We got an active bot coming. We got the Beat the Market Makers bot that will come. That one's going to be a little bit down the line. It's going to be a little bit down the line, but eventually I will do it. I'm a little burnt out right now, and plus I'm focused on schooling, and I'm focused on bettering myself. So that's what I want to do right now. And Beat the Market Makers is a very strong and very powerful one, but he also uses terminology in there that I don't know if we're going to be able to use, because how am I going to find half a Batman? How am I going to program the bot to find half a Batman? Or two touches to the Mayo? Or I even added in an EMA, and I call it adding lettuce. And it's going to be hard to program that. So, plus I'm going back on every single pair 2 years, and I'm doing an estimate of how many pips on a counter trend trade, and how many pips we can gain on a trend trade. But there's so many resets and stuff going on right now in the markets. It's barely even going to the three steps that it's the three moves that it normally does. It's usually resetting, and then it's back, and then it's resetting. So the markets are not moving in a way that anybody is used to. Even when other pandemics and stuff happened, people knew because they didn't have cryptos, but now they have cryptos. So it's really eliminating a lot of things. And so I think I'm going to leave it there. I think I explained enough. I probably talked a little more. I'm known to do that. But I just want you guys to know that I'm here for you. If I don't answer you, I'm probably sleeping. But most of the time, I'm right here. This is my full-time job. And so I really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch these videos. I really ask that you subscribe and hit the like buttons on YouTube to my videos if you find them. I got to change them. I'm actually got a course to become a better YouTuber. And it's going to be a bit before I take it, but I mean, I'm working on self-development. I'm working on not repeating the same thing, because I do say a lot. And I'm really going to better myself, not only personally, but also as a presenter, because I want to be a public figure. I want to be able to change people's lives and help people out. And I plan on holding webinars and seminars, and I'm going to need a street team, and I'm going to need people to help me. And So big things are coming with this company. They're big. I'm gonna take FX Warlord worldwide, and it's not just gonna be about FX. It's gonna have to do with programming, and it's gonna have to do with NFTs, and hopefully we'll have our own crypto one day. It's the ultimate goal, and it might not be for FX Warlord, but I do plan on trying to program my own crypto in the future, and that's it. That's really where I'm stepping at with the programmer. So I haven't forgotten any of this stuff. I still plan on doing it, but right now I just have my focus on something else, and I don't need to trade these markets manually. They're not doing anything well. So I'm gonna focus on things that are gonna better me as a person, and then I will focus on on the other stuff, the other forex stuff. When the markets start to turn around, I'll probably be more enthusiastic. But right now, I'm just burnt out. I'm tired of losing. I was losing in my manual trading, even using the beat the market maker strategy. It's it's supposed to be a 90%, and it just didn't work out well. So, and I mean, I'm big into cryptos. So I have 4 or 5 really strong projects. I have one that don't cost you nothing. So hit me up and ask me about those, and I'll be sure to let you know. I'll give you the evidence of why to choose those, and I just ask that you help spread the word, that you help people to know and understand this, because I mean, I'm going to show you right now, and then I'm going to let you go. But so we had, let me find it. New folder right here. So as you can see, this is when I first ran it, and this was before I had to switch servers because it wasn't pushing enough. I already had 142,190 pips. All right, and that was from February 16th to March 2nd. So I didn't even run it for a whole month, and I had 142,190 pips. And the markets were a little better back then, and they will get to that way again eventually, maybe. But then we got this, and this is what put me past. And this is my FX book. You guys can do this. It tells you everything. And the real thing, you can actually go and click on each one of these. And if you go onto the discussion group and go to the pinned messages, I have each and every one of these where you can go look at them. And I mean, I already showed you guys plenty of times, because it's these same things right here. And so you're going to be able to see this stuff on there. And so, and as you can see, if you add up what I had earlier, I don't know why that's up, but if you had what I had up earlier, then you're going to be able to add up and see that I'm well over. I mean, look at this right here, 59,406. So I'm well over 200,000 pips. I mean, it's astronomical. It's unheard of. And it's available to you. It's available to anybody who wants it. But as I said, the price is going to go up. I mean, as people start to realize, I need people to spread the word, so I'm allowing some people to be able to get it at a cheaper price right now, but eventually it's going to go up in price. So if you got friends and stuff and you want to get them in there now's a good time, because soon it will be up more in price. I know people selling bots that aren't even that GPS robot. Yeah, it's successful, but it's $100, and I've made $30 in over a month. So I mean, it's really a waste of my time. But when you're seeing these kind of things here, I mean, I've already made $13,723, and that's just since April 6th to May 25th. So it's a little over a month. It's almost about 2 months. I made $13,000. There's a lot of people in construction that don't make that. So. As always, I love you guys. I hope the best for you. If you need help, if you're having trouble, please hit me up. If you need the technical, it's not activating kind of stuff, still hit me up. But do it in the Warlords channel, and Frank will be able to help you. He goes to sleep pretty early, just like I do. So if we don't answer you, we'll get up. I'm up at 5 in the morning. So as soon as I'm up, I'll be sure to let you know. But as always, I hope for you peace, prosperity, and success. And this is Crypto Catcher. Laters.